Hello YouTube, this is George from Medusa Herps, back with another video. It's the first of the month, so it's time for monthly cleaning and weigh-ins on all my animals. Thought I'd share a little bit of the process with you. First thing I do is transfer my snakes into a holding tub so I can clean their enclosures. I've already started on the one for Satesh there. I've got some extra decorations over here that I wasn't using. Go ahead and wash those up since it is the first of the month. Soap and water. I have a sponge and scrubber that are dedicated to that. This tub of soap and water is for cleaning anything that goes inside the cage. So the plants, the water dish, these plastic tubes get soaked in that and then scrubbed. I did have my chlorhexidine over here. Normally I would spray everything that goes inside the enclosure with that chlorhexidine, but the sprayer broke. So I've improvised and filled up an old yogurt tub just so I can dip or rinse any of the stuff that goes in the enclosure with the chlorhexidine. I've already done the tub for Satesh. So here in a little bit I will dry that off. And him and Nephthys are finally coming out of quarantine. So they'll get some aspen bedding instead of the paper towel. Got that right here. Picked this one up at Tractor Supply near me. 5 liters, I believe it is. 5 cubic feet. 141 liters. It's a lot. This is about a third of the bag. I've got more of it stored in a Rubbermaid container upstairs in my attic just because there's so much of it. I believe it was like $17 or $18. Even though it says dust free, it is not. And there are some impurities in it. You'll find some large chunks of wood, about the size of your thumbnail maybe, it may be a little bit larger sometimes. But it's very cheap, seems to be all right. You can kind of see it's got a large grain to it, which I like. Some of the chips are larger. Good mix of stuff. Good at holding burrows. Satesh. Since we've got the tub open here, we'll go ahead. It is the first of the month, as I said, so we'll do a weight check on everybody. Hang out there for just a second, dude. So, 22 grams, 21, 22 grams. That's pretty good. He's eaten every time I've offered in the last month. 5 out of 5, I believe. 6 out of 6 on feeding. So him and Nephthys have been great eaters. So we'll pause the video here for a second, get some stuff dried off, and then we'll show you some of that bedding. Alright, so got the enclosure set back up with the substrate. As I said, you get some impurities, chunks of wood that came out of that, about a handful that I used in there. Try not to mix any of my enclosures, decorations, so all of the stuff that's in this enclosure has been in this enclosure. I'll do one at a time to make sure that the hides, the water dish, everything stays with the same animal, just in case something goes wrong. Don't need to cross-contaminate anything. A note on my water, I do use dechlorinated water. I'll fill up that gallon jug, pour that into a large stock pot, bring that to a roiling boil on the stove, let it boil for 10 or 15 minutes, turn the heat off and let it cool, and that should be enough to break down the chlorine that's in the water. I also get some sediments that come out and sit in the bottom of my pot, and I filter out those as well. So now that we got the enclosure ready, we can move our first animal back. That's right, you get substrate this time. You've been living on a paper towel, I'm sure it's not the best. Quick note, these wooden boxes, I got those at the Dollar Tree when I was first getting started with the animals. Horrible mistake. They are terrible to clean. Once they get feces on them, they get smeared black. They're wood, so the feces stick in small places. I would not recommend them to anyone. For those people who do use wood in your enclosure, leave me a comment and tell me how you clean it. I usually have to scrub it, and then of course I make sure I spray everything down with chlorhexidine when I do have a sprayer that works. So, as I said, take the cage decorations, soak them in the water. You can see, got the scrub brush there. I'll scrape that off, give them a good scrub, rinse everything off, dip it in the chlorhexidine, let it dry, and then we'll be good to go. So let's get Satesh back in his spot, and then we'll get Nephthys started. Alright, so have the next set of tubs washed, drying off a little bit there. We'll get a weight here on Nephthys. I do, by the way, do spot cleaning once every 2-3 days as necessary, or as water needs to be changed. It's just that on the monthly cleaning I do a deep cleaning of everything. Normally I would also be spraying all of that stuff down with chlorhexidine after it was washed, but as I said, since my sprayer broke, $22 grams. Don't really have an opportunity to run out to the store right now and get a replacement. Hey, no biting, no biting. I am not food. Ha! First snake to bite me. You get fed in 2 days. Too funny. I'm gonna die now. Y'all watched it live. Well, on video. There's the little biter back in the temporary enclosure. I have to say real quick, that's the first time any of my 6 snakes have even attempted to bite me. She ate 3 days ago. Today is Monday. They all ate on Friday. And I've been washing my hands in soap and water and chlorhexidine, so I don't know. Maybe she's decided something looked right. But I have to remember that for her. Good girl. Okay, so cleaning out Isis's cage, and here's what I was saying about the dust in that substrate. Even though it's supposed to be dust free, there is a decent amount of that in there. And we'll go ahead and get a weight on her since I'm filming, so you can see her. She was my picky eater until she shed. And now she's eaten the last 8 times, 9 times in a row. So, doing really good. And she's gained about 5 grams in the last month, so it looks like 29. Alright. So now I just repeat the washing process 4 more times. Then we'll come back and tell you what I'm going to do with all this stuff. Alright. Got Kepper's cage cleaned. He's my male Arctic. We'll get a weight on him. Thirty grams. We're about an hour into the process. I've cleaned 4 cages, so about another 30 minutes and I should have all 6 of them done. Alright, got the cage cleaned for Hathor. This is my female Arctic. She's got the most attitude of any of my snakes. She's actually the one I thought would bite me first. Surprise, surprise. Yeah. Full cobra. Hold on. Get a weight on you, girl. 44 grams. Nice. Yeah, I know. I know. You hate Dad. Alright, and daughter is waking up in the other room, so I have to take a little break. Come back to this later on. Alright, so last snake here. I saved Osiris for last. He has not eaten since April 10th. So almost 2 months. And last week Wednesday when I was spot cleaning, I noticed he was going into shed. You can see him, full blue eyes there. So hopefully after he comes out of shed, he'll be a little bit more interested in food. Get a weight on him here. 17. So he has lost a gram in the last month. 2 grams in the last 2 months. You can go back in your humid hide, buddy. That's fine. And then we'll put you over in the enclosure that we got ready. That's right. So to reiterate, spot clean every 2 or 3 days as I see feces or urates and as I'm checking water bowls. Once a month, deep clean, soap, water, everything in the cage, the enclosure itself, chlorhexidine when I have a sprayer that's working. Also do weights. The reason I do weights is I have this other scale which measures into the 1/10 of a gram. Something I read online said you should give your snakes between 10 and 15% of their body weight. So I'll go ahead and weigh out feeders for the next month for some of my snakes. I don't know if you can see that 4.7 it says on that one right there. So I'll take a little bag like this that I got from a reptile expo. There's some Ziploc bags, and I'll prepare a month's worth of food for each of my snakes so when it's time to feed, it's just easier to find something that's the appropriate size, considering that the food that I ordered from Rodent Pro, they sent 100 in a bag. So don't want to spend time searching through that. So that's all for now. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.